prioritizes hiring people with autism. As enterprise application software company SAP's Silvio Bessa has noted, corporations recruit people with autism because they need the analytic mindset that allows them to collectively think outside of the common boundaries. SAP 2013. Today, Kevin proudly identifies himself as a person with autism and says that he works well with NTs, that is, neurotypicals, a neologism for people without autism, and appreciates what they have to offer too. His inclusive workplace is an extension of the inclusive schooling he was first introduced to in middle school. The world experiences Kevin as a fully integrated member of society. He pays taxes, gets stuck in traffic jams, laments the losses suffered by his favorite sports team, and wishes his romantic life were better. In other words, Kevin is pretty much like everyone else. Yet, he is also himself. He has autism, engages in some repetitive behaviors when he's feeling stressed, and sometimes struggles with communicating with colleagues in the workplace. The difference is that he's in a professional community that seeks to understand his differences while never overlooking the human condition that binds us all together. Where we are and where our schools aren't, yet. Globalization has flattened our world, and it's also supported greater accessibility to information and services. As one simple example, look at the accessibility features available on your smartphone. You can change the font size and alter colors to make the contrast sharper and therefore easier to read. There is voice recognition software that allows you to text and search without typing out words. Voicemail messages can be read through transcription. These and other innovations reflect the sensibility that design is a way in which we can uphold a person's dignity and human rights. Burke, 2017. They grew from the intersection of people with and without disabilities participating together in the social and physical world. And yet, school remains a place where these intersections are systematically minimized. This is the result of 200 years of viewing disability through a medical model that catalogs impairment rather than considers disability as a social construct that is shaped by policy, theory, and ethics. It's impossible to untangle disability from race, culture, and economics, and equity cannot be realized if some members of society and members of school communities are marginalized and segregated. As a retired superintendent who oversaw the shift to inclusive education practices in his school district would remind his principals, "Show me your master schedule and I'll tell you what your values are." Who within a building has and does not have access to regular classes is often a reflection of who and what matters to the educators who work there. If students with disabilities and their peers without disabilities are to achieve at higher levels, increase the satisfaction they experience in life, and contribute as members of the community, the education system needs to change. And this will be no easy task. It requires undoing the marginalization of people with disabilities that dates back centuries and changing the expectations for students with disabilities. Yet, we must try. The current system is not working for many students, and that's a problem we cannot ignore. Understanding the human experience. Disability is part of the human experience. Once viewed as a static binary construct, disabled or not disabled, disability is now understood as a dimension of a person's identity, alongside race, ethnicity, language, gender, sexual orientation, and experience. It is the intersection of these identity influences that make each of us who we are. To segregate students according to a single identity influence, disability, is to sentence them to a literal disenfranchisement that marginalizes and threatens their identity as citizens of the world. Kleiwer, Bicklin, and Casa Hendrickson, 2006, page 186. Further, the practice of setting up separate classrooms and schools for the education of students with disabilities